Hey friends, today I want to share with you a story of how I got my heart broken and what I've learned from it and how it has transformed my life. The reason I'm sharing this story is because most people, when we grow up, we have our first love and our first heartbreak. Sometimes it's early in the growing years, like teenage years, or it could be later in life. But it's these heartbroken events that I feel like is a chance for us to grow and learn something from it. And I've definitely learned something from it looking back, how that has really transformed my life, to my dating life, how I look at relationship overall. And that heartbroken event has really changed my personal life, and how I'm very thankful that I went through that. And I want to share with you that, so maybe you can relate. I'm sure everybody has their own experience, and we definitely can learn from each other. So I want to start by just saying what my background is, and how I came about to my heartbreak break relationship. So as a kid, just growing up, my parents were divorced at a very young age. I was born in Vietnam, came over the U.S. when I was 6, and my parents were already divorced when I was probably 3 or 4 years old. So I never really had a close relationship with my dad. Never had really close relationship with my mom. My mom came over here. She always had tough love when we were young. Always yelling at me. Always hitting me, and I think that's pretty common for Asian parents, that they want to do kind of a tough love kind of approach. Sometimes they don't know how to express their love, but just want to always put out those guidelines and hit you and smack you and chase you with a broom. It's pretty common among the Asian parents. And she worked all the time when I was young, so I really don't see her. And whenever she sees me, she just yells at me. So on top of that, I really never had a full loving relationship with my parents, my dad or mom. I don't have any siblings. So growing up, I was pretty independent and by myself, and I think a lot of people can relate to that, and a lot of people maybe don't. I see the American culture, their family is very loving. There's two parents or one parent, and they don't abuse their child, they don't hit their child. It's a different approach. You can say that is good or bad, but sometimes when they grow up, especially if you have your love from their parents, they don't have that needy love like the Asian. I feel like they need. That's why when you see Asian music, there's a lot of heartbroken love songs. It's all sorts of love song that's heartbreak, and a lot of people can relate to that. But growing up, um, I remember being just junior high, having a crush with this girl. She didn't really know that I liked her, or she probably did. I look at her all the time, and it's not like I talked to her or anything. I was a very shy kid, but I just remember somehow I liked her so much, and I was listening to love songs, and I remember just sitting there in my room or something, crying, like as if I'm having a relationship with this girl. I don't know where these tears are coming from. Now thinking back, it's very strange because it's just a lot of emotions that come out, and I'm just projecting this on this girl that probably doesn't even know that I exist. And just looking back and understanding, it's just probably a lot of emotion that was kept inside, and tears and crying is just a way of releasing that energy. So tears is not completely bad, um, but I just remember there's just a lot of emotion, and it doesn't really make any sense now to think of it, that I never really have had a full relationship with her. And so after that, I just had a crush on her, never did anything about it. And then went to high school. I think about freshman or sophomore, I had a crush on this one girl, and not only nothing came of it, but end up that she likes my best friend, and that was pretty devastating. Just it's bad enough that your dream girl, you're not with your dream girl, but then now you have to see her with your best friend. So it's terrible. It's very uncomfortable, but just telling you stories that I've been in a pretty bad situation. I'm sure we all can relate. Um, and then it wasn't until junior high school that I met a girl. She was from a different school and 2 years younger than me. Dated her. It it was just a good first girlfriend. It wasn't like, love at first sight or something. It was just my first time having a girlfriend, connecting and all that. And after 2 years, I think we started kind of parting ways. And I think I was at an age where I'm more, wanting to explore. Just in you being a guy that thinking that you can explore and start dating, being more comfortable in my own skin. And we're off and on, and she was dating here and there. And as I knew that she was dating this particular guy, and getting closer, I started to get more jealous. I started to feel like I wanted her back, which is weird because when you have someone there, it's okay. But then when you have a feeling of losing someone to another guy or girl, you just feel like you want that person back. So we talked about it, and we said, let's get back. And she said, okay, well, let me see him tomorrow. I'm gonna go home see him tomorrow, and then we'll see, and then I'll tell him, that I'll find a way to tell him off that we're getting back. So the next day was pretty much the longest day of my life. It just seems like that time we had pagers and not phone. So I would go to a payphone and put quarters in and call, and then you would leave the numbers, certain numbers on the pager that would spell certain thing out, like call me back, where are you, and stuff like that. And then she would get the message and she would call back. But she never, called back. And every 15 minutes seems so long. It just seems like hours. The time moves so slowly. And this is my first time getting a feeling of this uncomfortable feeling. I don't know what it is, but it's just that uncomfortable feeling when your significant other, your loved one, is out with another guy or girl. It's the most uncomfortable feeling of all time. And I remember that she said that she was going to go to a pier and fishing or something like that. So I kind of had an idea where they might be. So I drove there, and then I went on the pier and walked and just hope maybe there's a little chance that I might see them. So as I'm walking down the pier, and near the middle of the pier and then near the end of the pier, I see her sitting there with him and with his few friends hanging out fishing. And then I walked closer, and then she saw me, and then I kept my distance, and then she kind of walked to me, and I kept the our distance. And then she came to me, and we were just talking, and basically I told her that, come home with me, like leave right now, and we'll be back together, and everything will be good, and everything will be okay. And basically she said that she can't leave him. She can't leave him now, telling me to go home, and like as if she's gonna handle it. But at that moment, I was just like, you come with me, and it'll be okay, or this is it, or this is it. This is over between us, basically. And she said she can't leave. And just walking back on that bridge like some kind of sad love story, walking alone, it's the longest walk ever back. It was just depressing and just very, very sad. On the way home, I was just so sad. But what it's even crazier is that when I got home, and I was just at home by myself, and I was just crying and bawling. Like the amount of tears were just gushing out, the cry that I've never cried before. It's not just your sad cry that you just kind of, cry quietly or just watching movies or hanging out. This was just like a waterfall of tears, and I've never felt like that before. The most uncomfortable feeling of all is losing your girl or your guy to another person. It's the worst feeling in the world. This was my first time experiencing it. I did not know how to react on it. It was just, I just wanted to stop, and it didn't. And now I can understand why people are suicidal when it comes to girls and stuff like that. I didn't know and understand why, but I kind of did understand after that moment. Is because people don't suicide because of the girl or the guy leaving them, or whatever that happens. It's just that this uncomfortable feeling that you have, that the hurt that is very specific hurt that you never felt before, when somebody leaves you, and you feel so lost, so unwanted, and it's just it's just like a knife. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a very uncomfortable feeling, and you just want it to end. You just want that feeling to end. And I think that is why people are thinking about suicide, because not because of the girl, it's because they want that uncomfortable feeling to end, and they don't know how to stop it. So, but I remember specifically, every other details is very vague. Me walking back, me driving back, and we as human usually tend to forget about bad memories. But specifically, I remember I went into the restroom, and I'm looking at the mirror of how I'm crying and bawling, and I'd never done this before. I'm just tearing and crying, and I'm just looking at myself just to see how terrible I look. And I said to myself, I'm like, never again, never again I will let this happen. I do not want to be in this position, and I'm gonna cry it out, and this is the worst I'll ever feel, and never again that I want to feel like this. I remember specifically looking at myself in the mirror and saying that to myself. It's so weird that I barely remember a lot of other details, but something that dramatic, and that point on, I knew there was something that changed inside me, and I made it pretty much a marker of that moment of what happens, and I never want to be in that situation again. And just thinking back after that situation, all my relationship on, I felt like I did put some kind of wall up and some kind of screening process that to protect myself. And all the girls that I dated afterwards, and I noticed, when at a young age, of course, you date, and there's girls that are gonna cheat on you, and the girls gonna lie to you. It's a common thing, right? It's a common thing even now today. When you date someone, their patterns of things they're doing, that something is going on. They're either cheating on you, or talking to somebody, or chatting with somebody. So whenever I'm dating somebody, let's say I'm seeing them for a while, everything is good, I'm texting them every day, they're texting me every day, and then all of a sudden they disappear, and they don't answer my text or something, or they're doing something that is not ordinary or part of the pattern, I know that there's something wrong. I know that they're probably seeing someone or talking to somebody. I don't have the clear evidence, but I'm pretty sure that something is going on with that. And anytime that I get that feeling, I would cut it off. I would break up with the girl. And I don't mind doing that. And when I do that, I'm sad also. I'm human. I'm still sad, because I'm breaking up with somebody. But I don't want to be in that situation again. If somebody's gonna be with you, you know they're gonna be with you. But if someone's gonna play games and cheat on you or something like that, that's not what I prefer. So therefore, I want to cut that off before I invest too much of my loving energy and get hurt even more. So I've noticed that I did that throughout, and it doesn't matter how hot the girl is, how good the girl treat you, or what a catch that girl is. If she is cheating on me or seeing other people or texting other people, which I do not like, and I feel like she's, behind my back is doing something, I will cut it off. And I think it's because of my decision after that heartbreak is that I will put myself first and do everything to protect myself, and I not will not give the other person the upper hand or the power to make me sad and hurt me. So I think that's the approach that I got. And I see nowadays too, I see that girls or guys, when they're in a very dysfunctional relationship, or let's say a guy likes a girl, but she's not giving the guy the day of the time, or that she's just not all there, she doesn't respond to you quickly. If you're dating somebody and she's doing something weird, and you have a hunch of that person is not being faithful to you and doing something behind your back, texting other guys or girls, messaging, and probably doing something that is not what you prefer, I would say be strong enough and just cut that out. Because your gut feeling of what is going on, you are smart enough to see it, and a lot of people, I feel like, they don't want to believe that. And by doing that, you're opening yourself to being cheated on and being hurt more down the line. Unless you are fine with that kind of open relationship, then it's okay. But if you want someone for yourself, and that person says to you that they love you and they want to be with you, then they will show it. They will show it. There should not be any doubt of that on your end, because if they're doing things that you're very doubtful, just because you don't catch them with their pants down, it doesn't mean that they're not doing anything wrong. So I would say that unless you're okay with the potential someone hurting you, and that's the relationship that you prefer, I would say that be very stern about that, and especially if you had experiences like that before. Nowadays, with the dating life, with the social media, it's so easy for someone to slip into your girl DM or a guy's DM. And dating app, there's just so many distractions. The dating pool right now is terrible. And I have to say that if I was single, I would have a very hard time trusting any girl at all. And that's for guys also. So you have to ask yourself, what is it that you prefer in a relationship, and have a good screening process. And by being stern and like that, you will attract more people that is like you, and the guy will respect you more. Because if you just being in la la land and you're not speaking up, and you just, the guy or the girl will push their boundaries. They will always push their boundaries and see what they can get away with. And if that's what you like, then that's fine. But if not, then I would be say to be very stern and about that, and put yourself first. So after that, I felt like that heartbreak has really changed how I see things, how I protected myself, and what my preference is. And what I see nowadays is like a lot of people go through the heartbreak, but they don't learn anything from it. So I would say, unless if that is the feeling that you like, and if that is the relationship that you like, continuing to get heartbroken over and over and not taking responsibility. When I say taking responsibility, meaning that we have to take fault at everything that's happening in our life. If we continue to see that person and let other people hurt us, and continue to be in these kind of relationship, is because it's our fault. We are the one that is screening. We are the one that's dating them. So up front, I would say, when you date someone, you put it out there really clearly what you're looking for in this relationship. and what you tolerate and what you prefer. And if that person is not living to the expectation and acting like it, then you can be very straightforward about it. And I would say that's more healthier than just two people just kind of not speaking clearly of what each other want, and then at the end of it you're so surprised that the guy or the girl is dating or having another girl or whatever that they're chatting with or dating or whatever that happens that you don't prefer. So that has really changed my life, and even all the way up to my later years, that before I met my wife, I dated this beautiful girl. Everyone said she was beautiful, tall, long hair, beautiful face. But through her interaction with her, there was a few things that didn't seem right. There was one time something was missing from my house, and I brought her home, and basically, long story short, I was very stern. I said, we're gonna break up until we find this thing that was missing. And she was like, oh, why can't we stay together and look for it together? And I was just very stern, and I said, no, we gotta break up because it just doesn't make any sense. But what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter how pretty or how handsome the guy is or what a catch you think he is. We have to have standards, and we have to have standards, and we have to have values. And if those values are not met, it does not matter how handsome or how beautiful the girl is. So that's what I'm trying to get at. I think we got to learn how to value ourselves more. We are the catch, and there is somebody out there that is perfect for us. There is someone out there that's going to appreciate how we are, and do not minimize that by putting someone else above you. Just because the girl is handsomer or whatever, it doesn't mean that you go last or second to that. I think to solve that, I would say that learn how to love ourselves more. And you hear this all the time. You got to learn how to love yourself before you need to learn to love others or to find love. And I truly believe that. A lot of people think that we need to find someone else to feel complete, and that's why they open the door for other people to come in. They project this person to be perfect for them so they can feel complete. But that is truly the wrong approach. The better approach is that learn that you are a complete person, be comfortable with yourself, and just learn how to love yourself more. When you are radiating a complete energy of yourself, you're going to radiate that into the universe, and more of the similar people are going to come into your life. If you feel incomplete right now and think there is someone out there that's going to complete you, that means that you are incomplete right now, and that's the energy that you're radiating out to the universe. And what's going to happen is that you're going to attract more incomplete people into your life. So when two incomplete people are dating, they don't even know how to make them feel happy or complete. How is it that they are gonna know to make you feel complete? It doesn't make sense. So I would say keep it simple. If you think in terms of energy and the way that you feel complete to attract another person, it makes a lot of sense. And if you take that approach, I think it's going to be less weight on us, because thinking that we're going to find someone to feel complete, that is just a lot of pressure, and that is just not a healthy way of approaching things. So I wanted to share that with you. Hopefully that you can relate. I'm sure that everyone watching this video has experienced heartbreak. I would love to hear what you have experienced, and what you if you resonated with this video or what part that you like or not. If you like a video like this, please let me know. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you very soon.